I grabbed so many orbs that time. Alrighty. Well, so big things I learned was just the pacing between the action scenes and the just kind of peaceful exploration. That way you're not kind of being bombarded with tense action the entire time. Also, everything has a memorable sound. So every time an enemy shows up, even if they're off screen, if you're listening, you can tell that they're there. Most attacks have the same kind of property. The things you hear the most are very melodic. They sound very, like when you're picking up orbs, they kind of just blend right into each other, and it kind of doesn't get abrasive. Whatever's going on, they're very bassy, light sound, or bassy and heavy sounds, not like tinny, high-pitched ones. What else did I realize? It's really fun to chain combos together. Trying to figure out what moves to upgrade and things like that. I like that they give Vergil all 3 weapons at the beginning of the game, and you can cycle through them freely. That way, if you're trying to get the like S ranking and high ranking stylish combos, you can get that just by learning how to switch, which kind of holds your hand in a very subtle way to get you to use the other attacks to figure out which ones you like best. And then when you go into the power-up room, or menu, excuse me, you can power up whatever one you like best. That way you don't really need to switch anymore. Like what I really liked the Yamato blade, so as I was upgrading that and the summon swords, I was able to get to the high-level combos without ever having to switch. Yeah, and then just figuring out how you can maximize the most out of what they give you. So like Devil May Cry 3, it was like the style button, but you can use his trick up or whatever it's called to teleport near the enemy. You could use that to dodge attacks, and especially against those air enemies, you can use it to get up in their face really quick and at the same time dodge whatever they're doing. So yeah, it just felt fun. You could stay in the air a long time. So I think that's stuff that I would like to, those feelings of just being kind of expressing yourself through whatever weapons or abilities or things that the game gives you. You're kind of solving these combat puzzles with whatever way you'd like to, almost like a musical instrument. Yeah, it's kind of a interesting rhythm game with swords and bullets and things like that instead. On an aesthetic level, I don't know. Like, I think individually, like even here, those designs in the background are really cool. Like the tribal art and very like gothic architecture kind of stuff going on, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like now that I'm even looking at Vergil, it's like, what's going on with his outfit? Oh well. But I feel like this was productive. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please follow our channel. Usually I'd like to do more things like this, go through some of my Steam library and see what other stuff I have. But yeah, follow my channel, LightHeartLabs.tv/ wait, it's totally backwards. Twitch.tv/LightHeartLabs. And you can find me at Twitter at LightHeartLabs or Facebook, the page LightHeartLabs. So if you got anything you want to share about game design, game development, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Quizar, but yeah. 8-year-old and a half finished game, sadly. Yeah. I think even when they put out the first Devil May Cry 4, it was definitely felt light on the content, so that's why I was excited to get back in just to kind of play the characters. And if you're familiar with like the history of where Devil May Cry as a series came from, it was basically they were working on Resident Evil 4, and the team went in a totally different direction. That's where like infinite ammo came, and it was this really crazy idea of like, what if it was this horror game, but instead of being kind of powerless, you were super powerful. And so, yeah, I love the way this game feels when you're playing the different characters. It's been, man, probably 2000. When did the other Devil May Cry come out? Like 2006, like the first Devil May Cry 4. 2008. Yeah, so I probably played the heck out of this game back then. Even enough to get like the unlimited Devil Trigger versions of Dante and Nero. So I'm really excited to go back through with Vergil, who's probably my favorite to play as. If you like 4, 3 is really good, especially the special edition. Yeah. 1 is one of those games that like it's hard to go back to once you've played this, because it's like where the series originated. So there's a lot that is like the basis. It's like the grandfather ideas of what's happening here. But I'll tell you that whenever the first Devil May Cry came out, I had Blockbuster, if you guys remember that. Blockbuster was having this special where it was 30 games for 30... Oh, excuse me, it was... Yeah. For 30 days, you could rent unlimited games. It was like their gamer special. Oh, for $30. Pay $30, 30 days, unlimited games. You can exchange them, whatever. And I think I was in like 8th or 9th grade. Took it upon myself to just try to play as many of the games as I could. And I started at the beginning of the alphabet. I was doing like Ape Escape, and this is back, I guess, yeah, PlayStation 2. And when I got to the D's, I saw Devil May Cry, and out of the 2 that I had in my hand, I remember looking at that original box art for Devil May Cry 1, just like really bland, didn't really look like anybody spent a ton of time making it, and I did not expect anything of it. Now, when I was playing it, I remember there's that moment in the beginning where like Trish throws a motorcycle, and then Dante is like shooting it back with guns, and I was like, what is this? Where did this even come from? And then, so that got me to be interested in playing it, and then if you start playing it, it kind of feels like an old Resident Evil game, where the movement's kind of clunky. I mean, even in this, like when you jump, it feels very different than other types of games. Very like, if you're moving horizontally, you have to do a specific button input and commit to it really hard. But again, same thing. The moment I was playing that hooked me was when the first enemies show up, and you can like, if you lock on and hold back and you like uppercut an enemy up in the air, and then you keep them up with the bullets, I was sold. I was just like, what is this? I've never played a game like this. And that's really what hooked me in being interested in the series. And so from a game design perspective, I definitely feel like this is a just like you're saying, that it's a character action game that's like an evolution of the beat 'em up. But they really took this unique direction into, like, there's like fighting game mechanics in it. You can do like frame perfect inputs, and things behave differently when you time them a certain way. You have to be very aware of the different enemy tells and like the sounds and stuff that they make. And ultimately, like, if you, the player, are just completely aware of like what's going on, and you hit this flow of just like, you're familiar with these sounds, you know what's about to happen, you could do crazy stuff in the game and never take any damage, and it just feels great. And so I would say like after you beat the game, especially if you go into those like arena modes where you have to go through, it's like the tower or something, and just doing that kind of stuff. Of like the survival mode feels fun because the core of the game is where they're focusing all of their energy. And I think Devil May Cry 4 is definitely a pure example of that. Of like the story kind of fell off. You could tell that like they had an idea, but they never really knew where they wanted to take it, and it just kind of fizzled out. But they kept designing all of the stuff that they really cared about, like the combat. And I'm glad that they did a special edition to help fill out what the game could have been. And I'm excited to try out. Like, who are the other characters? Yeah, Lady and Trish. Oh, maybe you play through the game as either of them? Oh, it's probably just switching out their models during the cutscenes and stuff. I think most of the bosses and enemies aren't that great for a game like this. Yeah, I think you're right. They could have done a lot better having bosses that really challenge you. I think 3 does that really well, though. There's a lot of bosses in Devil May Cry 3 that I think help. They're kind of the natural evolution of what they're trying to teach you, and then the bosses are a good test. Yeah. So I think like the bosses I really like in Devil May Cry 4 are what's the his like girlfriend's brother's name? Is it Angelo or something? I forget. But that's that fight where you're like out on the big, there's like horizon everywhere. You're out on this like giant crazy Final Fantasy like bridge, and the girlfriend's brother turns into like the angel knight with the like shield arm. That boss fight's pretty sweet. It's probably my favorite boss fight in this game. The more human characters are a lot cooler in my opinion. Who's the first boss in this one? Oh yeah, it's like the big demon in the city. Like he's honestly not that interesting. And even Devil May Cry 1 had really the like lava tarantula. It was like kind of scary and powerful. Credo. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you ever want to get inspired and just see something really cool, go search like the triple S no damage rankings of people that are just way better at this game than I'll ever be playing against Credo. It's pretty sweet. Oh yeah. You know, I still haven't played Metal Gear Rising. I've seen some of it, but I'll have to try that out. I mean, to be completely honest, I think the other reason why I didn't like where Devil May Cry went with the DMC reboot is I'm not a huge fan of like the super gritty, grotesque, gory, and that's really where that game went. And I enjoy Metal Gear, but Rising definitely has a little bit more of that. Like the violence seems to be like reveling in the gore and stuff like that, and it's like, it's not for me, not my thing. Devil May Cry feels cartoony enough, where like, yeah, where I think it doesn't hit that sensibility for me. But yeah, thank you for watching. I gotta call it a night, move on to some other stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back. Like I said, I'd love to do more kind of game design analysis run-throughs. With this game, I got the Strider, Titan Souls. Still haven't played Undertale. I don't know if I want to play that on stream. But yeah, you guys have been awesome. If you enjoyed it, please follow, and I will see you again soon. Alright, God bless and have a good night. Bye-bye.